What up? What it do? We are back. I know what y'all thinking. First thing y'all thinking, I got this beard. I know I got the beard. It's a great beard, but I got that because I'm like Socrates up in this piece. I'm about to drop some knowledge on y'all. So somebody asked me last week, how to deal with nerves, and I think it's important. Well, first off, let me say this: if you want me to talk about something, just send me a message, and I'll talk about it. I think that's the best thing I can do for you guys is give you guys exactly what you want. So if you want to hear something, send me a message. All my information on social media is the same, at Dean Thomas. So Dean spelled D-I-N, Thomas. So send me a message and I'm gonna drop some science on y'all, drop some knowledge. So somebody asked me how to deal with nerves before a fight. And I think that's so important because I've seen so many good fighters lose fights because they weren't able to manage their nerves properly prior to a fight. So what happens is they go out into the fight, they're great fighters, they get out to the fight, and then they freeze. They freeze. Now understand this, any level of performance that you do is pretty much the same. It's all about being able to perform under the pressure. And it's no different than public speaking. Everybody can speak, everybody can talk, really. But when you get in front of people, how well can you deliver your message? It's the same thing with fighting. When you get in front of people, how well can you perform and deliver? Now understand this, prior to a fight, every fighter is going to go through so many different emotions because there are so many distractions, so many emotions, from fan expectations, making your friends and family happy, making yourself happy, dealing with the weight cut. There are a lot of distractions that are going to get in the way from you delivering your performance. So I'm going to give you guys two things that you'll have to be able to do and manage to control your emotions prior to a fight so that you can deal with your nerves better. The first thing, and I'm not going to dive too deep into this, and that's understanding what type of fighter you are. Now, generally, there are three different type of fighters. There's great athletes. George St. Pierre was one. There's the fighter's fighter. That's like Justin Gaethje, Robbie Lawler. And then you have, just competitors, great competitors. And Rory McDonald comes to mind when I think of a great competitor. Just really good competitor. Ben Askren, really good competitor. Now, just because you're one doesn't mean that you're not the other two. It just means that one kind of takes precedence over. And sometimes it fluctuates with the fighter. Sometimes guys start out as great fighters, then they turn into great athletes. And it just kind of, that probably won't happen, but it just kind of goes, it can flip-flop sometimes. But just because you're one doesn't necessarily mean that you're not the other. It's just one takes precedence. So once you can understand which type of fighter you are, you can learn to deal with how that should be treated when going into a fight. I won't get into that now, but I'm just going to let you know, understand what type of fighter you are, and it will help you manage your nerves better and help you to train, actually all across the board, train better because you'll know what skills you need to work on most. But the one thing that I do want to discuss when it comes to dealing with nerves before a fight, the most important, the most crucial element is concentration. Concentration. It comes down to performance. Again, like right now, I'm in this room by myself and I'm talking into this camera and I'm able to actually concentrate on the center of this camera. Now, if there was 1,000 people around me, that should not change the way I concentrate on this camera. It could, it might, it probably will, but it shouldn't, because the relationship between me and this camera stays the same. All this external stuff should not matter. Unfortunately, it does in terms of performance, but we have to be able to practice to get better, to not allow these external influences to alter the way we perform. And it comes down to being able to control your concentration. And in terms of controlling your concentration, here's the things that I want you to focus on right before a fight. Focus on the very first thing that you want to accomplish. And don't take it too far. A lot of people will go, oh, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to punch him in the face, then I'm going to take him down, I'm going to take his back and choke him out. But you can't control all that because your opponent's going to have something to say about that. The only thing that you can really control is the first thing that you do. The way you step into the cage. The way you, when you hear Big John McCarthy say, let's get it on, the way you walk towards him. You can control that, but nothing else you can really control. So the important thing is that you focus on the thing that you can control first. The very first thing that you can control, focus on that. And then once you achieve that, go to the next thing, and then the next thing. And you have to stay in the moment, because once you lose concentration of the moment, now you no longer have the ability to control your situation. So you have to be able to control each moment by moment and not think too far in advance and not think too much of the past. Like, you collect that inventory of the past of what happened so that maybe you can use it later, but you have to primarily stay in the moment of your concentration and maintain that same relationship, whether it's a lot of people around or nobody around. Now, all the things that are going to distract you, fan expectations, like I said, just, the pressure you put on yourself, but you have to ignore that. Some of the things that people think they're helping you on are, you got this, bro, you're going to kick his butt. That becomes pressure for you. And then you get into the fight and you're no longer thinking, all right, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to establish my jab. Now you're thinking, I got to kick his butt because all these people are expecting me to. You have to learn to ignore those external influences in order to concentrate better. So that's my piece today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Learn how to concentrate. This message was brought to you by Elite Ops Energy Strips. It's what I take in order to keep my energy levels up, because everybody know I be doing way too much sometimes. But I can do that because I always have energy to do it, because I take Elite Ops Energy Strips, 100 milligrams of caffeine, got B vitamins, and go to eliteopsenergy.com and you can check them out. Anyway, I'm Dean Thomas. This has been another edition. I'm going to see y'all next week. If you have something you want to hear, send me a message and I'll talk to you about it. All right, y'all. Peace.